Be prepared for things to kick off. When you start being called into a higher calling, a higher purpose, a time to rise, expand and grow on an accelerated level, you can be prepared for the doors of your shadow to open up very wide. This is about the journey of what do we choose in this moment, which will be the determining factor of what we embody and the direction that we go on. Whether we continue the journey into rising into our higher calling, or we go in the other direction because of the seeds of doubt, fear, uncertainty. What we water at that given moment will determine whether we do rise and expand into our high calling. And the big determining factor of that is the amount of shadow, which is essentially going to come from your unconscious. All that is suppressed and repressed is going to come to the surface for you to be acknowledged and for light to be put on so it can be healed, resolved, and dissolved. These seeds of doubt, fear, uncertainty are going to be reflected into your external world in people, persons, situations, and circumstances. This is why it's going to be at some point, it's going to feel really freaking challenging. You're being called into this higher purpose. You're getting downloads coming in, but you've also got simultaneously coming in your shadow coming in, this repressed and suppressed archaic lineage coming to the surface of doubt, scarcity, lack, fear, in abundance coming to the surface to be healed through. So you can be prepared that things are going to be a little bit turbulent and uncertain. But this is where your faith and trust in your higher purpose comes into play. You're going to have to be really vigilant on what you are watering within your mind, because as soon as you get a download come in that feels expansive, even that alone is probably going to feel a little bit, there's going to be a bit of fear in there, but simultaneously there might be this element of excitement. This is when you sharpen your sword of discernment of what feels aligned for you. When that higher purpose comes in, it might be quite fleeting, but it will feel really strong and powerful. And there'll be this lightness, this joy, this like, oh my God, that feels so good. And then before you know it, the seeds of fear, doubt, uncertainty, lack come in. The shadow comes in to engulf that. And it's down to you with your sharpened sword of discernment that you recognize what is going on in the now moment, because your attention and awareness will determine what plants and seeds you are watering. Are you going to continue to water your shadow, or are you going to continue to water and nurture the downloads of your vision, mission, purpose, and service coming in, your creative expression, rising into your higher calling? And it's not going to be smooth. It's going to be turbulent as hell. And it's really appreciating the connection between what's happening within you and then the external world. I'm not going to edit that out. I'm going to keep on going. It's so easy to fall into the victimhood of the external world is showing me this, and then to give it more solidified validation by giving it your attention. So you got to keep coming back to your vision. You got to keep watering it. You got to be looking at your vision, your mission, your dream, writing down your downloads that are coming in, tuning into what really feels good and aligned for you. That is the calling for you to go into that, to rise, to ascend into your higher calling for the reason why you are here. Taking one of the biggest steps that you are going to make right now in this life. Of course, it's not going to be smooth. Every spiritual pathway will talk about and has mapped out the journey of the soul and the turbulence and the pain and the agony which comes along with the death of the old self. That's what it is. We're talking about a massive titanic plate shift of a death of the old self. We need to be prepared to let them go. We have to acknowledge every aspect of it, but simultaneously be prepared to let it go. Sometimes we can create an attachment with the old self because we have this like bond almost with it that we don't want to let it go. It's part of us. It is part of us. But no, we have to acknowledge it and dissolve it with compassion. And that dissolution of compassion happens when we change and shift our point of focus in the here and now. We bring our attention to those downloads, that higher calling, that service, that mission, that creative expression, that authenticity, that deep soul alignment that's coming in for you right now. And it's a duality. Human experience is a duality. It's a paradox. It's going to feel like there's always opposing conditions. But we're transcending the opposites along the way in the way we go in this journey of you coming into your alignment. So be prepared for turbulence, guys. Let's be honest about it. Be prepared. There's going to be shit kicking off, but it's all good. It is one of the most positive signs right now that you are being called into your higher calling and expansion. Sending you so much love, my friends, on your expansion journey. Share in the comments where you are right now. Share those fears, share those doubts, share those old self qualities that we're all working through, that we're all shedding these layers and working our way through. What layer are you working through right now? Sending you so much love, my friends, and I'll see you in the next video.